Hello everybody! Glad to finally put out another video. Thank you for joining me. While I build this channel, you'll see different content as I figure out what people want to see. As you may have noticed, my initial videos were all about cryptos. I want to stress, this is not a crypto channel, or at least not yet. What info was put out was because cryptos, in my opinion, are the most undervalued asset, followed by gold and silver. Today's video is about what you should do prior to even investing 1 cent. If this dilemma that we are locked down for has proved is that nothing is for sure. Your job, home prices, the stock market, availability of toilet paper, nothing is for sure. With that said, I want to discuss how you can set yourself up to win with finance in general, but especially with investing. First, I'd like to discuss the rules of money. These are hyperly critical to building a successful financial future. Then we will define what is inflation and interest. Again, other key definitions that must be understood prior to investing. This is all information that you should have learned, but were never taught in school. Rules of money. The first rule of money is pay yourself. This rule is taken from The Richest Man in Babylon. Great book if you haven't read it. People want to save, but don't set up a savings plan. That's their first mistake. As a matter of fact, 60% of US citizens don't use a budget. If you don't know where you spend the money, you can never fix any issues. The lack of financial oversight and low wages are the reason people remain poor. Some people use the 20-30-50 method, 50% for living expenses, 30% into a slush fund, 20% into savings. The key to a successful pay yourself program is to set up automatic deductions. You must spend less than you earn. With the money that you save, you have to capitalize on compound interest. This is the 8th wonder of the world. Either invest in stocks, businesses, real estate, or any other investment tool or vehicle. That's up to you to decide. Savings will never make you rich. With most savings account paying only 0.01% of interest, you're never going to be rich by saving your money. National inflation here in the United States is maintained around 2%. This idea is highway robbery, but that's for another video. If you are interested in this, I would do search for Velocity of Money by Mike Maloney. Another rule of money is to use debt wisely. Many people get themselves into trouble by using debt, but debt is a multiplier. Leverage, or using borrowed money, is a vehicle to compound interest. However, the compounding effect can work both directions. Meaning if you make a good choice, it can go up dramatically, but if you make a poor choice, it will go down significantly. An example of bad debt is using credit to purchase a car. This will hit your bottom line twice. Once because you're paying interest on the money you borrowed, and second because of depreciation of the vehicle. The next rule of money is the more you learn, the more you earn. Take time to learn new things every chance you get. With the internet, you have access to more information than ever before at your fingertips. For example, I've taken this to heart and learned how to brew beer, make soap, invest in cryptos, evaluate stocks, and start a YouTube channel. The final rule of money is money will not make you happy. Money can only make you happy if it's spent correctly. The spending cycle is what keeps people poor and places them in the rat race. I'm sure everyone's heard about the lotto curse. This is when people come into money that they didn't expect and then lose it all, or worse, get themselves into worse financial trouble than they were when they started. Make sure what you spend your money on will give you long-term happiness, like helping out a church or buying your parents a gift that they've always wanted. This is why the rich are actually more generous than poor people. They are getting thrills by watching how other people react because they can't get the same joy, since they've most likely purchased everything that they've ever wanted. Two things that we must discuss prior to moving on with setting up a successful savings plans are inflation and interest. What is inflation? Inflation is the rate of an increase in price for goods and services in an economy over a set period of time. A recent example of inflation. In 2017, the price of a whole chicken was $1.42 per pound. 1 year later, in 2018, the same chicken cost 9 cents more per pound. This is an increase of 6.3%. Remember earlier that we discussed that the national inflation rate was maintained at approximately 2%. This is why this is highway robbery. They never achieve 2%, and their basket of goods is not realistic. The actual price of food, which impacts all of us, is really closer to 6 to 10%. This is really why people struggle so much with their paychecks. As people earn more or governments print more currency, prices go up because more people with currency are competing for the same amount of goods. This increase in price makes you have less purchasing power if your wages don't keep up. Conversely, deflation is when there are more goods and not enough people buying them. Next, what is interest? Interest is the cost of borrowing something. If you have a mortgage, you are paying interest on your loan. On the other side of that coin, when you deposit money into a bank account, the bank pays you interest to loan out your money. This interest is given in an annual percentage yield. The interest rate can vary significantly from bank to bank. For example, interest rates are usually between 0.01 and 1%. This rate has significant effect on your accounts. Let's say you had $5,000 in a bank account. Over a year, this could mean receiving 50 cents versus $50 of interest. Thank you for taking the time in your busy day to listen to this podcast. Really appreciate each one of you, and please leave a comment, like, subscribe, share the video if you think anybody will get some benefit out of it. If there's anything that anyone wants me to cover, please let me know in the comments below or send me a direct message and I'll get back to you. Thanks again. This is The Awakened Investor. Until next time, be safe and invest in yourself.